Hey there, Mike Barbanica, Antioch City Council, District 2. Today is March 31st, 2023, and I want to talk about the Antioch Police Department and our current situation. First, to the men and women that are here working the street, working investigations, working dispatch, working records, civilian employees, sworn personnel, I want to offer my sincere thank you for the job that you continue to do day in and day out, doing everything you can to make sure that this community is safe, regardless of what is going on with any investigation or people that may not be here currently. I also want to say that everybody, you, me, every one of these police officers is entitled to due process. And we need to see how these investigations shake out before we really start pointing fingers. Everybody is entitled to due process. Now, if a cop has done wrong and has committed crimes, every good cop will be the first one to say, get rid of that person. But let's just keep in mind that we don't know all the facts as to what has occurred in recent months or however long this has gone on. So that aside, I again want to offer my sincere thank you and support to the men and women of the Antioch Police Department that are coming in and working under these conditions day in and day out to make sure that we have a safe community. Now let's talk about staffing levels. Am I concerned with staffing levels? Absolutely I am. And I've made this very clear to the police chief, to officers within the community, and to the city manager. I'm very concerned with staffing levels. Coming from a police background, I know we cannot continue to run a 24/7 operation where we're constantly being depleted. So my concern is the future and the safety of this community. What I believe needs to occur, and this is we're going to have a report coming from the chief very soon, but what I believe needs to be looked at least is assistance from allied agencies, meaning we have plenty of agencies around us. We have the Sheriff's Department, we have Pittsburgh, we have Oakley, we have Brentwood, California Highway Patrol, and Sheriff's Department. There are plenty of agencies in the area that can lend a hand. Yesterday, I received a call from another agency in the area, an administrator, saying, if need be, we're here to help. And that is so appreciated. But we need to make sure we have safe streets for our residents. And if that means on a temporary basis, bringing in an outside agency like the Sheriff's Department or one of the other agencies around us to help out, I'm all for it. It's not as easy as it sounds. You have to consider, obviously, those officers need to be paid, but I think that's the easy part. The more difficult part is policies. Can they communicate with our dispatch? When they write a report, do they write it under their case files, our case files? These are the logistical things. What policy do they follow? Do they follow their agency? Do they follow Antioch's policies? There's a lot of things that have to be worked out, but those can be done by administrators in a fairly quick process, and that can be done. That can be handled. So it's not just as easy as saying, hey, come on over and work in our city, but there is a process that can be gone through to make this happen. But I do believe that we should take a serious look at some of the agencies surrounding us that have offered to assist and take them up on their offers to make sure we have safe streets. This won't last forever, and I'm not advocating doing this today. I want to wait to hear from the chief, but I did tell the city manager, who I met with today, that I believe it is time to start seriously looking at those options. And if we don't need that, at least we have it in place and ready to go if in fact we do need to call upon it for help. And maybe we won't, depending on the report that we get from the chief. But I do believe we need to start looking in that direction to make sure everybody in our community knows that when they call 911, they're going to have somebody responding. I also want to bring up that there are going to be some people that point fingers at Chief Ford immediately, and I think this is an absolute mistake to do this. These issues that we're dealing with now were not under Chief Ford's watch, but Chief Ford stepped up immediately when he learned of situations and took action. And that's what we want in a leader, and that's what we want in a police chief. It's very easy to point fingers and say, the chief's responsible for whatever. This is a chief that came into this situation and was handed a lot of this and is dealing with it. I think right now we need to show our support not only to the men and women of the Antioch Police Department that are still coming to work every single day and keeping our community safe as best they can, but also to the chief and the administrative staff. Now they need our support. They don't need finger pointing. And I do believe we need to be looking at outside agencies and have that ready to go in a moment's notice if in fact we need to enact that and we need to bring people in. Safety of this community needs to be the number one priority, and any local politician that is serving their communities, I'm sure, hopefully, will tell you the same thing. Safety is number one. You as residents need to know that when you call 911, somebody is going to be there to answer the call. That is the message I wanted to get out to you today. Support of these men and women that are still coming to work on a daily basis. Support of the police chief who was dealt this hand but has taken it head on and is dealing with it. And 3, looking hard at bringing in allied agencies when needed to help the men and women of the Antioch Police Department. Mike Barbanica, Antioch City Council, District 2.